So children, now we know that from the story of Prophet Yousuf A.S, we have some valuable lessons regarding the communication. As we studied last week also, that we observed that Prophet Yousuf A.S was able to communicate the message of Allah to his fellow prisoners by two ways. First of all, he was able to communicate to them about the message of Allah through his character. Right? Do you remember that when he did not directly told them about Allah, he was following the good manners as your mom just told us about. So those were the manners in which he communicated that he is a person of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in the manners of communication could be the ways of communication could be either through words or through your character. All right, so effective communication, that the lessons that we learned from Hazrat Yousuf A.S are two ways: the wordless communication and the communication through words. The wordless communication is through your character, and the communication through the words is through the words that we speak. Now coming on to the second point, that how do you communicate using the words? You must know that speaking is such a good blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us that we must use it very wisely. Do you all believe that the power to speak is a blessing from Allah? What do you think about this blessing from Allah, that you are able to speak to us, that you are able to say out the words from your mouth? How do you feel about this? Is it a very good blessing, a powerful blessing that Allah has blessed us with? Mohit, aap bataye bhaiya?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what about Manahil, Harim and Sarim? Is my voice through?
Yes, we can
Okay.
listen. Yes,
Okay, so we all...
okay. Yes, Harim wanted to say.
Yes.
Be able to speak the truth and give the message of Allah like Yusuf A.S did.
Yes. So I want you to realize that the power to speak is a very important blessing that Allah has given us. So we must use this power, we must use this blessing very wisely. All right? Because all the blessings must be used in a very wise manner, because in the Qiyamah, on the day of judgment, we will be held responsible how we use the blessings that Allah has given us, that Allah has bestowed upon us. All right? So much so that the fourth caliph, Hazrat Ali Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, he has a saying that you are a master of what you say until you utter it. Until you utter it means until the words they come out of your mouth, you are a master of them. All right? But once they come out of your mouth, once you deliver them, you are its captive. You become the prisoner of whatever comes out of your mouth. Does this make any sense? Does it make sense to you, Mohit? Have you ever gone through the experience that you had uttered something, you had told something very special to someone, and then you had a regret that, it should have been, I wish that I never told that to somebody? Did that happen to you anytime?
Anything you said and you didn't want to say, that I did wrong, I shouldn't say this to someone. You regretted over it.
Like
To your friend.
There are times when we say things to people and later on we think that these are not the right things that we said to them. Isn't it? So this is the same thing that Hazrat Ali Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu is telling us, that we are a master of what we say until we say it out of our mouth. But once that those words, those things are said to someone, now what is the situation? We become the prisoner of those things. We become the captive. So preserve your tongue as you do your gold and money. So this blessing of ours, this power to speak, is such a big responsibility that you should take hold of it. You should keep it safe as you keep safe your gold and money and your wealth. All right? So this is as important. This is so precious a power that you should take care of it as you take care of your wealth. All right? One word could bring disgrace and the termination of a bliss. So much so that even one word that comes out of your mouth can bring you disgrace. It may be a possibility that you are very well respected in the world. People say that you're a very good person, you're a very good child, but the one word that you utter out of your mouth, that can bring disgrace to you. That can make your reputation, from very good to very bad. Even one word can have this power. So you should take hold, you should take responsibility of what comes out of your mouth. And the termination of a bliss. It can happen sometimes that your whole good scenario, everything being good, and you say something bad and it all turns into something very bad. The scenario changes for you. Okay? So what is the lesson that we get? We must speak wisely. We must speak wisely. And it is a saying that you should think twice before you speak once. You may also think that we speak so much that it is very difficult at times to think twice before you speak once. Don't you think it is a very difficult task to think before speaking? No? Okay, let's ask one by one. I'm asking from you, Manahil, that do you always think before you speak?
I sometimes don't.
Her voice is not clear to me, Seher.
Okay.
I do not mostly think twice, but at some occasions I do, because I do not. I think that what people will think about the message that I'm delivering.
Okay. All right. And what about Harim?
Sometimes if we are in such a hurry that we do not think twice before we speak. We have to say something urgently. So mostly,
Yeah.
I do not
There are times.
because I have to speak something immediately.
Yes, there are times when we speak mindlessly, we don't think twice, and these are the times that most likely we regret afterwards, that whatever we spoke, we should not have said that in that manner or in that time or in front of those people. All right? So
Yes.
we should make it a habit to think before speaking, even if it is difficult to think twice. You should at least think for a little while before speaking. Okay? So always make it a habit that whenever you're speaking, you should think what you're going to say. And I'll tell you later in the next slide what should we think about before speaking. So there are a few things that we should consider before speaking. What are these? All right? There are 5 elements that you should be considering. Number 1, whatever you're trying to say or whatever you're going to say, is it based on honesty? Is it the truth or is it not? This is the most important thing that you should consider before speaking anything. All right? Number 1, is it the truth that you're going to speak? Number 2, is it the right time to speak for me? Many a times the time is not right. For example, from the story of Yousuf A.S, we know that only when it was the correct time, when those 2 prisoners came to Hazrat Yousuf A.S to ask him about the interpretation of their dreams, it was only then that he spoke to them about the message of Allah, isn't it?
Yes.
Before that, he was just displaying his character. He was not speaking to them directly in words. We remember that, right? So, you should always keep in mind if it is the right time to speak. Because it is a saying in English, a stitch in time saves 9. So if you speak a stitch in time saves 9. It means that if you say something on the right time, it is more effective. Have you ever experienced, Mohit, that you've said something on the right time and it made a lot of difference as compared to if you say it in the wrong time?
Sarim wanted.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Okay. No. He's thinking.
Okay.
Like if we want to go to the bathroom, so we wanted to go urgently, so if we say to the wrong time, so late, so we can't hold it. We should
Right. Very good. Very good. And have you also ever experienced that sometimes your mama or your baba is not in the right mood, but you go to them insisting upon something and they say that no, not this time?
Sometimes you are given the opportunity to answer, and at that time you are so nervous and shy, but after that you do not get the chance to answer.
Yeah.
You should answer
Yes.
at the right time.
At the right time. So picking up the right time is extremely important. You should consider what your situation is. What is the mood of all the people around you? Are they receptive? Are they willing to hear? Are they willing to listen to your point or not? Are they in a hurry? They are not in a situation to sit patiently and listen to you. There are always times when people will be willing to listen to you, and there are always times when they are not willing to listen to you. Right? We should always pick the right time. The third thing, the right audience. The third thing is the right audience. Right audience means whom are you going to speak? Are you going to speak to the people on which your message is going to give any impact? On which you are trying to communicate those things to those person, or are they not the right person? Are they not the right people? For example, we are conducting this class for the children. If we give the same information to adults, what do you think? Would that make any difference? In this way, in these colorful slides, and we talking like making things easier for the children, it will not be the same. So you should choose the right people in front you're speaking. Okay? Sometimes you want to blabber all your stories, all your secrets to people who are not the right people whom you should be confiding your secrets with. Isn't it?
Yes.
Sometimes we eagerly want to tell something to someone, but these are not the right people we should be telling those things to. And later on we regret, we repent. I wish I had not told that person that particular thing of mine. That happens. Because those are not the right people you should be telling your secrets to. Those are not the right people you should be telling your stories to. So always be mindful. Who are you telling the things that you are going to tell? Okay?
Yes.
Number 4, is it necessary for me to speak? Always speak when it is necessary, it is needed, or the thing that would be helpful to somebody. There are times when you need to speak for your own self, because you want to speak, you want to tell that story, you feel so eager to tell that story to someone. So that is necessary, because you want your heart to get lightened up, you want to tell those things because there's so much excitement in your heart. So when it is necessary, do speak. Or consider that the thing that I'm telling to somebody will it be helpful to someone? For example, Yusuf A.S. Invited those prisoners to the message of Allah because it was needed. It was necessary for the prisoners to receive the message of Allah. Right? It was needed. It was the need of time. It was helpful for those prisoners, for the people to have received that message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah is one. Always consider this thing, that whatever you're going to say, is it necessary? Is it needed? Or will it be helpful to someone? Okay? And when you are decided that all these 4 check boxes are ticked, I'm going to tell the truth. It is the right time for me to speak. It is the right audience I'm going to speak in front of, and it is needed. Then choose the right words in your mind. Choose the right and kind words in your mind. Okay? Because the thing may be correct. It may be based on honesty. It may be the correct, truthful thing. It may be the right time. It may be the right audience. It may be the necessary thing to speak. But still, if you do not choose the right words, it may not bring you the impact that you want to achieve.
Okay.
So, choosing the right words is very important.